What's up YouTube, Badoli back. I'm bringing you guys a video today about all the secret chest spots in the game. Not everyone knows about these, and I figured I'd shed some light on this topic because maybe there's not that many videos about it out there. But hopefully if you guys find these chests, you'll get some good loot out of them. Some of these you might already know about, some of them you might not know about. Either way, I'm going to be showing you most, if not all, of these secret spots for chests in Fortnite Battle Royale. Alright guys, our first spot is going to be located right behind a pathway behind Anarchy Acres. This is probably one of the more known chest areas. This is definitely a spot that a lot of people do not know about. Here we are, our first chest spot. Even though there is not a chest here, this is a spot where a chest could happen to be. And there's number one. Let's move on to the next area. Alright guys, our second spot is going to be in the tunnel area right by Tomato Town. This area might not be as well known as the first spot I mentioned, but there are still people that know about it, and they wouldn't be surprised if someone shows up to go grab this one. So here we are with our second spot. It'll be to the right if you're coming from Tomato Town. It'll be right past or right in front of this red car here. You can find a chest here, or you may find 2 or 3 chests if you get really lucky. Well, that's it for the second spot. Let's go to the third one. Alright guys, our third spot is going to be in a really peculiar spot. It's going to be right behind Wailing Woods, towards the end of the cliff here. This one I'm not sure how many people know about. I think if people do know about it, they don't know where specifically it is, because they may have seen it in the video or something like that. Most people, if they know about it, don't know exactly where it is. This one you could have never really guessed as to where it was. Honestly, I had no idea about this area until recently. Alright, here we are at the third area, right behind this shack here and behind Wailing Woods. You'll see a truck almost hanging off the cliff. And you'll usually see a chest right about here. For some reason there isn't a chest here, but sometimes if you come around here, this chest will be here. Quite a peculiar spot, as you can see. Alright, let's move on to our fourth spot. Alrighty guys, our fourth spot. It's a spot that you may have known about, you may not have known about. It's at the racetrack, right below Lonely Lodge. Now you may have been here a million times before, but believe it or not, there is a secret spot towards the edge of the map. So when you fly down here, you're going to see this raised platform towards the edge of the map. And this area will usually have 2 chests, believe it or not. Just in case if you didn't know about this one. This area usually has 2 chests. And there's also usually some decent loot up top here too. So you can get pretty set up just by landing in this area alone. Alright, let's go to our 5th spot. Alrighty guys, our 5th spot I believe is actually an area that's kind of similar to where we were before. It's going to be right on the left side of Wailing Woods. And this is not necessarily like a secret spot. It's more of a spot that people never usually end up going to. Oh no, I'm mistaken. It's back here actually. Not here. Right here. It's going to be past the little group of houses right here, right north actually of Wailing Woods. So this is technically an area not many people go by, but there's a chest laying right here with some pretty decent loot actually. I guess it's supposed to be representing a campfire of some sort, but this is not necessarily an area that people will come across and grab a chest. You can also grab chests in the house right there, and the house right there, and over this way actually there's a tree with a bunch of little bushes around it where you may find a chest or 2 back there as well. So this isn't a bad area for chests. On to our next spot. Alright guys, counting down to one of our almost final areas of secret chest spots. It's going to be in Greasy Grove. This one I'm pretty sure almost no one knows about because it's such a peculiar spot. You're going to have a good headset to hear this chest. So the easiest way to get to this chest is to get into this middle building here. This is where the chest is located. And once you drop down on the little square area that is protruding out of the building. And once you land here, you break through it. And then at the bottom, there's a chest, a secret room here, with some pretty decent loot. And there's another way of getting here if you don't land here straight away, is by breaking down the wall here in this building. Once you get up these stairs, you can hack away at it and then get to your chest like that. On to the next spot. Alright guys, our next spot is going to be in Retail Row. So this is going to end up being one of the northmost buildings in Retail Row. This chest isn't necessarily that much of a secret, it's just a chest that a lot of people end up passing by. Alright, so once you land on top of this building, most north of Retail Row, you're going to want to come next to this air duct here and smash through the roof here, and there's usually a chest sitting right on top of this cabinet looking thing. But there's one not here right now, but usually there will be some pretty decent loot down here as well. On to our next spot. Alright, on to the next area. This isn't specifically a spot. This is just a surrounding area of Fatal Fields where you can find actually a pretty decent amount of chests. Around this area is my go-to spot for solos, because you can typically find at least 3 or 4 chests. And not many people know about this one. If you ever come across these areas, they're typically unlooted. So I typically land here first. There's typically some loot up here and right here. And then you can drop down here as well for a chest. This is the first chest of many that you'll find in this little area, or this little surrounding area here. And there's also a chest that may be underneath of the bridge-like area before the main part of Fatal. Yes, there's a chest right there. That's not necessarily a secret spot, but it's another chest that you can find in this area. And along the way you can also drop by and get some chests, typically up on the roof here in the secret little room off to the side over here. There's normally some people here though. You can also build your way up here, and there may be a chest right in this tiny little area behind the rocks here. And also in these wooded areas where the house is in between the two, you can find a chest typically sitting up here sometimes. You may find some good loot. Now there can also be a secret chest in one of these giant tubes here. If you want to break this one, there's sometimes going to be a chest in here. Some people know about this one, not everyone though. You can also grab some chests and some loot here. You can grab a chest up in this building right here. And then in the second wooded area, there's also typically a chest sitting in between the trees here. And after going through all of this area, you should be pretty set. There's typically a chest right in between these trees here. But after running the course through this area, you should be pretty loaded out. Sometimes you should expect combat, as I just did. Don't be surprised if you end up coming across some people here. There's also various chests in the middle of Fatal Fields. Expect to get shot at, because you're like in the heart of Fatal Fields, so some people may see you from the house. Alright, on to our one of our final areas. On to the final spot here. This is a more known spot, probably the most known spot in the video. This is not necessarily a secret as well, it's just a really neat spot that in an area that necessarily not many people go to. The giant tree to the left side of Moisty Mire will have typically 2 or 3 chests, sometimes 1, but will always be a chest on this little island here with the tree, and you can get some pretty decent loot out of it, and you can get set just by landing here in Moisty Mire. Someone else clearly has gotten the same idea here. But we got 1 chest, 2 chests, 2 chests here, yeah. Typically there can be 3 sometimes, but I'm gonna die, yeah. So he knew where that was, obviously. So that's the last of the secret chest spots in Fortnite. A lot of these you may have known, a lot of them you may have not known. Either way, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to catch you in the next video. See you guys.